Yeah.
So I'm going to take you out.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Huddle Time. Hope you guys are doing good. We have a little bit of echo, I think. So I'm going to wait until you guys tell me how I sound and how I look. Happy Huddle Time. Hope you guys are doing good. It's Monday and it's our time to huddle. So what's new in your area? Still doing good? I hear a little echo. I don't know if you guys hear that little echo going on. But let me know if the sound is good, whoever is here. Yeah, so today we are having a great, incredible huddle time for you guys. And I'm super excited because I have my really good friend, Shelley North. And before we actually going to go and talk about Shelley North, who is a really good friend of mine, I just wanted to remind everybody that ABS show is coming. The Americans Beauty Show is coming and is coming live September 10th, 11th, and 12th. Super excited. We're actually arriving on the 10th, and I think the show starts from the 11th to the 13th. Now, this year, we also have Data Driven at Rosemont as well, which is amazing. We're going to have two shows in one time. We're going to have some amazing cocktail parties. But what's really great about the show this year, it's all education based and it's all intimate based. And what does that mean? Where in the past we had such a huge stages, we decided to just do something a little bit more intimate. So you're going to be so up and close with your educator, and I will be there educating as well. We're going to have so many amazing artists. We're going to have great barbers. We're going to have great social media classes. We're going to have a great hands-on. Sam Villa is going to be in the house. So many great artists, and guess what? All of the artists, or a lot of them, are going to be in Huddle Time with every week from now until September. So we're going to bring them all up, and we're going to do a little tasting for everyone. Now, if you have not bought your ticket yet, definitely go and buy your ticket right now, and you will have a membership for the whole year for Americans Beauty Show and education that comes with it. If you do, if you are interested in data driven and you want to learn a lot about what's coming up, a lot of the technology, everything about data, this is the time to go and buy the data ticket, and that will entitle you to get another ticket, including that for Americans Beauty Show, which is awesome. So super stoked about that. I do want to say thank you for Salon Cadence. Salon Cadence is our sponsor of Huddle Time with Ronit. Salon Cadence is a white glove, hand-picked, special experts of trainers and coaches helping salon and spa owners achieve scalability in their business model. So if you're interested in growing your company to a very scalable level, this is an amazing program. You don't want to miss that one. And if you curious of where to get most of that information, we have the link right here for you. So click there and come and visit us at Salon Cadence. And you can even book for discovery calls. Also want to thank Americans Beauty Show for being our sponsor for Huddle Time with Ronit as our partner. And we want to also thank Textile, who is our partner into crimes. Textile mission is to help you engage with your customers the way they want you to. Because customers of today is really important. They want a quick engagement, quick communication, and very effective communication. Textile is the product to do it. So if you're interested in anything about textiles, right here, the link is here for you. You can learn everything. And as a matter of fact, Americans Beauty Show has Textile is their sponsor this year. And we'll do a lot of communication through Textile. You're going to learn a lot about it. Now, that obviously result with a lot of resulting in higher revenue, better communication, happiness all around. So with all of that, I want to thank everybody, and let's start our show. Today we have Shelley North, who is a great friend. We've been friends for many, many years. She's the owner of Glow beauty boutique in Braintree, and have been in business for many years and has done really well, very, very well. She's been, I think, recipient of Salon Today 200 for over 5 years. So 5 years in a row, right?
Yep.
Let's bring it on board. Hey, Shelley.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Ronit. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing super. Also good to have you here again, Shelley. Another, I think last year was exactly last year that we had you here for the first time.
Yeah, I
When
think
we
it was one of the first shows, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. It's amazing. We've been what is it, like 15 months now into it, and the show has been growing, and it's been wonderful, and it's so good to have you here. We talked a lot about the pandemic last year, and this year I want to talk about resilience, and we're going to cover all of it within the next within this show. But I want to talk about something really great, mostly about the year that you went through, the challenges that you have.
Yeah.
Pandemic was definitely a challenge for what it present to ourselves, and what it presented to you, and what did you do in order to uh, deal with that?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you look beautiful, Shelley, today. You got your glowing skin. Tell us a little bit about your business first, so everybody knows.
Sure. Thanks. So Glow has been in business for 19 years this August. I started out just with 2 rooms in Braintree, which is about 8 miles south of Boston, an airbrush tanning machine, because that was like the hot thing, and 2 aesthetic rooms. So no nails, no hair, no massage, just strictly skincare. And through the years, as space became available and we grew and we scaled and learned new skills and brought on new people, we are now at 17 staff members. What are we at? Like, I think 13 are which all estheticians, 1 injectables RN, and then support staff. So it's great. All the girls are extremely talented, and we normally try to train from when they get right out of school to go on the floor to kind of learn the systems that we use, and that allows for longevity and also success. That's what
Yeah,
we found. Yeah.
yeah. Well, this year has been definitely challenging when it comes to scheduling,
Yes.
new rules, new regulations,
Yes.
things that we need to adhere to. The other day, I was talking to one of our Salon Cadence members, and by the way, Shelley has been a Salon Cadence member for I think 5 years now. She's one of
Yeah.
our original member at Salon Cadence. As a matter of fact, we built a lot of Salon Cadence together on the very first beginning. So thank you, Shelley, for always supporting and being one of the best students.
Thank
Um,
you.
as,
I like being a
as
guinea pig because I get to learn new things too.
hey, let's try something new today, Shelley. What do you
Yeah,
think?
exactly.
Yeah, that's the best part of being here together. I'm right now in Seattle, Washington State, and you're at my hometown in Boston, and we've been together running businesses for a long time together. So we've been really great friends, supporting each other through thick and thin. And I think that's like the number one best thing that I value in our friendship so much is that no matter how thick it gets, you've been there, and how we experiment everything. We take classes together. We fly everywhere together to
Yep.
learn. We're addicted
You're
for
the best
learning.
roommate. You're the easiest roommate. Yep.
Easiest roommates. We love the same thing. We
Good
love.
food, good company, lots of laughs, and lots of new things. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
when you own a business, it's pretty lonely on the top, and it's good to have a great friend that totally get it when something goes down, and you need like good listening, and good
Mhm.
advice, and so you can replace friendships like that, and I love you.
I love you too.
Thank
I'm
you.
getting distracted because my little puppy has decided
Oh, let's
nobody's
see
home.
him.
I
Where is
kicked
he?
everybody out, said, leave me alone. The only one I allowed in the house is my lap dog, who normally sleeps 18 hours a day, but has now all of a sudden decided that he wants attention. So I
Oh, we
think I might
want to
have to.
see him.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Well, he's right here, but now he thinks we're playing. So hold on, Archie. Come on. There we go. Let's try to throw something for him so he leaves me alone. Like I said, he normally sleeps half the day away, and all of
Yeah,
a sudden he decided he's wide awake.
yeah. You would think he's a giant, but he's really that little,
Oh
like
yeah,
a really
he's
miniature.
not. Yeah, he's not even 10 pounds.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, that was about one of the best thing you have done this year, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I was ready for a dog. The kids were ready for. I mean, everybody got a COVID dog. Who didn't?
Yeah,
Right? I mean, the
exactly.
shelters were empty. Everything was beautiful about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we ended up with a real gem, and he's a sweetheart 99.9% of the time. Yeah.
Except now. Except
Except
go
right
in.
now, because he just
Yeah.
wants my attention because he sees I'm not giving it to him.
I know that's really what it takes. So Shelley, let's go back into that. Let's so tell me about this year. You know, what are the challenges that being a business owner, and not only being a business owner, having a company that has over 20 employees,
Mm-hmm.
rules and regulations, nonstop rules and regulation, changes nonstop, all of
Non-stop
that,
changes. Yeah.
nonstop changes. I mean, we're talking about an industry that changes 24/7, and I'm not talking about the way we run business, but the way that we show up every day. But amplify that. So,
Yeah.
what were the hardest thing that you had to deal with, and what did you do in order to navigate the storm?
Flexibility. I mean, at the beginning, let's face it, most business owners are creative on one hand and type A on the other hand, right? We like our organization, we like our systems, we're in control, we like to have the answers. When you're the boss, that's kind of your role, right? All of a sudden, you have no control of anything because you're just waiting for the TV to turn on, or a post to come from the governor to say what are the rules, what are the regulations. You're waiting for the board of cosmetology to give you a piece of paper so that you can then relay it back in a staff meeting to your staff, who keeps on saying, when are we coming back, how are we coming back, what is it going to look like, what is it going to feel like. And then you really soon and quickly learn that it was week to week, month to month, week to week, and then it always was changing. So my advice from the beginning was, hey, listen, I'm going to say something today, and this is what I know today, and that's a truth today, but that doesn't mean it's a truth tomorrow, because it seems like things are changing so much. So we all just have to take a breather, realize the whole world is in the same position, and just have some patience and kindness with one another and the people walking in the door, and just do the best we can, right? I mean, that's really, I think, where it came down to, because right when you thought you figured it all out, you knew nothing, right? Like 3 weeks
Yeah.
later, everything changed, right? And now in Massachusetts, most of the country, all the mask mandates were lifted and all these things were lifted, but now things are changing again.
Again.
And again and again. We had all the shields at the front desk and in different places in the salon. And, next thing you know, when we could take them down, the girls were like, oh, I can't wait to throw these in the dumpster. And I was like, no, no, no. I'm like,
You never
I don't
know.
want to be negative. I said, but I want to be pragmatic, right?
Yeah.
We already got all this stuff. Let's just wrap it up and, make sure nothing gets on it and put it in the storage room. Because if we need it again, I don't really want to have to go out and find it and reorder it and be on back order, right? So
Yes.
it might be happening again, unfortunately.
Well, it's a good idea, and I love what you're saying. You just you think you know everything, you think you
Right.
figure something out, and then before you know it, boom, another boomerang, and now they're like,
Yeah.
okay, we got to do something different.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard for everybody because you get comfortable a little bit, if you can even get comfortable, but then
Right.
you have to come up with a whole different system or a whole different something. That allows some sort of norm, some sort of consistency,
Mm-hmm.
and growth, obviously. Now, a lot of the salons are suffering, obviously, from either retention of
Yeah.
employee,
Yeah.
as staff members, and then, or we suffer from not being able to recruit right now, right? And get
Correct.
some. So it's definitely the biggest challenge that we have right now, or is it? Or maybe there's something else.
No, I mean, I would agree with you. I
Yeah.
have labeled that in the salon as called the COVID shuffle,
Yes.
right? When you think about your chairs, let it be nail chairs or, salon chairs, or for massage, estheticians and massage therapists, it's rooms. Either way, visually, it's, you have that chair or that room, and you're open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 5 days a week, or, 4 days a week, and then 8 to 4 on a Saturday. So you have so many hours to sell in that chair, right?
Yes.
But the shuffle is the puzzle pieces of who's part-time, who's full-time, who left, who's coming on. And it really is, I just call it the COVID shuffle. And during this time, what do they say? It's 30 days to create a new habit, right? And a lot of us were out of work or left like the second week in March and didn't come back in the aesthetics world, not cosmetology, not hair, but in the aesthetics world, we weren't allowed to come back until second or third week in July. Yeah. So that was a long time to create new patterns and habits with your family and your financials, and how you could balance things in your own life, and what you realized, what you really didn't want to let go of, right? There's a lot of people that found a different balance. And as an owner, I kind of felt like I had to respect that, right? I mean, a lot of things changed during this time. And who am I to judge what's good for you or your family or your health or your mental well-being or just where you're at in life, right? So as painful as it can be when people have moved on or shifted or decided, rent a chair or do something different, it's not personal, like to me, you know what I mean? As hard as we all work to keep the doors open for ourselves and for the people in the team that we employ, we also have to respect the fact that they found a new pattern, right? And that was what working for them. So my goal was always to say, to have it be, transition people well. And if they were great employees, which I'm very blessed that way, the door's open. If you want to cover for someone, if you want to come in and cover someone's vacation, or just come in and have a cup of coffee, like we'd love to have you. It's much better that way, right?
Yeah.
But then you get to the recruiting. And the recruiting's a little tough right now because the students are the COVID students, right? They didn't get as much hands-on. Their clinicals weren't as long. Their boards were very different. They don't feel as though, some of them don't feel as though they got enough hands-on training. So the training in the salon is so much more intense to get their confidence and their skills up, in my experience. That might not be everybody. In Massachusetts, that's how it feels.
Oh, it says, it's hard to get more of the established talent right now. Or maybe not, but from what I understand, from all of our members at Maxime, and of course I do a lot of research, and I speak to a lot of experts, and the biggest problem is that it's hard to find the talent that is already established. However, the good news is that schools' attendance has been growing way up. Huge. So the future is so bright. Because we are getting the future workforce or the future amazing talent. And I'd love to talk about the future talent, because the future talent is how we need to move forward. We need to learn, what is the future talent? What are their habits? What are they looking for? What do they like? So when they do come out of schools, we're going to offer them something that is irresistible for them, right? And how we can harmonize it together to right now. So there's a lot of great future, I would say great future, I don't know, doors that are going to be open up for us to embrace if we are flexible and if we understand the power of the new generation that comes out, the new Gen Zs. And so I'd love to talk about that. Now, in your history, when you recruit, you're 90% of the time you recruit somebody established and not really new talent where you train. That was never your biggest model. Now, right now, so which I think either model is fantastic.
Yeah, I've had a handful of each, but probably right in the last, over the last, say, roughly 19 years. Yeah, I've normally had people that have had some experience and then got mentored in the systems of the salon, right? And right now I have two in the rooms, one coming up soon, shortly, that are brand spanking new. Very talented, eager, willing to learn, know what they're doing. Just, have to fine tune it like we all have to. Get more
Yeah.
continuing education, take classes, but great personalities, great hands. So, but yes, very, very different model. Yeah.
Now, you have even, I would think that the spa and the skincare, and of course we talk about it a lot, is even a bit has more challenges because everybody is in one single room. It's not like you have a community where everybody is chatting and talking and
Yes.
supporting each other. From everybody has its own structured one room, and it's not easy to go through this. Or maybe it is. How did you navigate through that behind doors? I call it.
COVID or the recruiting, like, or the training,
Well,
or
the
both.
whole yeah. So I guess where I was saying that just to go through COVID with what we had to go through,
Yeah. A
but
lot of
having it,
PPEs. A lot of PPEs. Yeah. A
yeah,
lot of, we always say you do you, like in the sense with clients. I mean, it's really hard to do a lip wax when everybody has a mask on, right? So,
yes,
we'd be masked up and we'd have our gloves and, there's a lot of trust there, right? There was a lot of trust of them making sure that we were keeping ourselves healthy and making sure we were doing what we were supposed to do so that we could take care of them, right? We weren't just standing behind them or beside them. I mean, most part, even with the facial, you're right there. So
right.
it was a lot of trust, a lot of transparency, a lot of email changes, a lot of communication in the room. Um, and then once people started feeling relaxed, human touch, as you know, is just so important. And during COVID, especially with people that live alone or are older or just aren't around people a lot, especially because they're not going to the office anymore, just for people to be touched again, right, was huge. They really
Yeah.
needed it. Yeah.
Yeah. And and what you said just elevate a thought in my thinking that you said a lot of communication,
A
big
lot of
transparency.
communication. Yeah.
And so here's another great things that happen because of what we're going through. We learn how to communicate better. We learn how to
Yes.
be more transparent. As a team, we learned to maybe to have courage and tell our peers and tell our boss about how we really feel and what we really need. And I think we got closer in something like this. Do you agree?
Oh, I would agree. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree. And I think that by being a little separated from your team, which kind of becomes your family, right? I mean, you're eating together, you're showing up together, you're on the floor around the rooms together, you're working together all the time. When you separate from that group and you're just with your core family and friends or your community, right? And then you come back into that environment, sometimes the vibe changes. I mean, it's true, right? You vibe with your tribe, or um, you've shifted in a way, or grown, or other people have, and you're not feeling that same energy. They call it what, lift or drag, right? So you're coming in. Are you lifted? Are you excited? Are these the people you want to be with and working side by side with? Do you trust them to have your back and help your clients and keep the salon, the shop running? Or would you rather be home, doing something different because you've shifted and something's changed in your world? And then having that clear communication, not only with yourself, right? Being real and authentic with yourself and saying, this is what I'm feeling, this is who I am, and this is where I'm at. But then to be able to express that in a way and be in an environment where people are embracing that, right? Because
Yeah.
again, it's the COVID shuffle. There's no fault, everybody's worlds went upside down and sideways. So mental health was, hugely important to make sure that everybody, was good where they're at and felt good moving forward in the environment that they're in or in the place in life that they're in. Yeah.
There were times when I was running Maxime, there were times where the vibe wasn't good, and there were a lot of negative vibes. And sometimes I would think, am I the negative vibes? Am I bringing negative vibes into this picture? Am I mirroring me and
Right.
reflecting on myself, or is this really something there that needs to be resolved? And I always would pick up the phone, Shelley, and I would call you and I said, there's something up. There's something up the air. It's not working. And here you are. You would come with your stones and with everything else that
Yeah.
can clear energy. And it
Yeah.
literally worked amazing. I'd
Oh
love
yeah.
for you, I'd love for you to share with everybody what are the practices that you do on a daily basis, especially in conflicting times,
Sure.
in order to clear some vibes and bring some really good vibes.
Perfect. So as you know, this is like my favorite subject in the world. I
Yeah, let's
mean,
talk and meet
yep,
and
let's
look
go. Yeah.
and
I
look
mean,
and look what I have here.
oh, you bowl of stones. I love it. I love it.
Oh, I love my
Um,
stuff.
so 25 years at least. I've been doing Reiki Master. I do the Shambhala method, Kiesel. I mean, you can call it all. It's all new age stuff, right?
Yes.
Um, I'm all about whatever you believe in. I call it the universe. I have tremendous faith in a higher power, whatever that may be for other people. Um, I've always, since day one, and even in my home, kind of have a ritual where I light incense in all the four corners. I like, you know, odd numbers. That tends to be, threes, fives, sevens, nines. So I typically do 5 sticks of incense to kind of open up the day and set an intent. So it's even in our handbook, so in the morning when the girls in guest services come in and they have their checklist on there, it says, sent the intent of the day, and we'll leave a blank so they can even send it, but it's always something positive. Let it be
Yeah.
healing, joy, prosperity, acceptance, love, whatever it may be. And then you set the 5 incense in the four corners and then one in the middle. So that kind of opens up the day. And it also closes the day. So at the end of the night, they set the incense to kind of close the day because, as you know, we work with a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I have certain scents that I like that mean different things. I also have a Reiki grid in the shop. For those of you that don't know what a Reiki grid is, if you just, take your place of business, it could be a rectangle, it could be anything. You find the four corners and you take quartz crystals and you have two, in the corner, you have them facing this way, one moving forward to the middle and one facing the other way. So all the lines, create like a square or a rectangle, and then all the midlines kind of create like a triangle. And the purpose of that is to kind of just set up overall protection on the shop or your place of business so that it's a little bit of a boundary, right? So there's joy, again, joy, prosperity, happiness, healing, abundance, and like a little force field. And
Yeah.
I know it sounds a little silly, but
Yeah.
the girls really, clients sometimes do feel it, because a lot of them walk in and they're like, wow, it just feels so good in here, it just, people feel that underlying current when you kind of clear that energy. So they're not walking into, the team's guck or
Yeah.
someone who left that just dropped guck.
Yes.
And I think it's really important in our industry, not only to kind of keep our energy clear, but also keep the atmosphere clear for those that come in,
Yeah.
because we're more sensitive than others. And I feel like in the last 3 to 5 years, I used to talk about vision boards 15 years ago, right? And, people would be like, what the heck is a vision board? Or guided meditation, or, oh, kiss a rock, or I'd give my clients stones after like a healing facial. And a lot of them were open to receive that. But now, I mean, everybody, is seeing it, hearing it, reading it. People are just much more open at this time right now.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I think it's important. I think we go back and forth, right? We got so much on our shoulders as
Yes.
owners.
Mhm.
We got so much responsibility. We have financial investment. We have time invested. We're responsible on payroll. When it comes to entrepreneurs, we literally say what we want, and then we have to follow it up, make sure that we follow it up and we make things happen. There's just a lot comes into moving forward, right?
Mhm.
And making
Yeah.
sure that your staff has it's our responsibility. They're like our children in some way. It doesn't matter how big of a business you have, whether you have three members in your shop or in your salon or in your company, or you have 100.
Hmm.
The responsibility is just as great. It's just as great. Now, you're going just like everybody else is going, right? You're going through, people are mad. They don't want to do this. They don't want to compliant. They don't want to have compliance with the rules and regulation. So you have to really learn. And Shelley, being a person that loves to be in control, that has rules and regulation, just like me, we have to learn this new ways of leading, new leadership style. And I know it's been a definitely, a testing year, as you always tell me, Ronit.
Yep.
This is the universe; it's testing you right now,
Oh yeah,
and you have
definitely.
to, you do have to get through it.
Yeah.
So, what are the things? What are the things that you had to do that for this? Let me ask you that question in a different way. If you could talk to your past self, telling them what not to do or what to do for your future self,
Hmm.
what would you say to your past self in order to get a better future self?
Oh, okay. I think there'd be, I think there'd be a couple of things I would say. Um, Even though things seem like they're urgent and pressing, sometimes the best thing to do is hit the pause button and take a breather and take a step back so that you can really get a clear head about the situation and stop getting yourself so worked up about it, right?
Yeah,
Um, because the stress can really affect your mental, physical, and emotional well being, right? And also, an emotional response, a lot of the times in the moment, is the worst response to have, right? So now, if I have a situation, I would rather just say, wow, that was a great conversation. It gave me a lot to think about. And I know if I respond right now, it's probably not going to come out good for either one of us because it'll come from an emotional space. So why don't we just kind of like let me sleep on it, think about it, and let's revisit it tomorrow or the next day or make an appointment. And that way I can call you and go, "Wah, wah, wah, wah," my head's spinning, or I can talk to my manager, or just take a breather. Sometimes you just need to sleep on things, and that's okay. I used to always think, again, like I mentioned at the beginning with COVID, you always want to have the answers because then you think if you have those answers, you know it all. And, then there's predictability and you're stable. I do the best I can, right? We're all doing the best we can. Um, but I do feel as though if you, just take a pause and take a breather, things are clearer. And then you're really hearing what that other person's saying and you can respond to it in a respectful way.
way.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
which is great. Now that was a great tip for everybody. I've learned that over the years too, that it's great to just take a pause, just think about it, because something is coming from it and you don't know yet what it is,
Hmm.
but it's coming, and you need to be open because when it's coming is great. It's going to
Yes.
be amazing.
Yes.
The three things that you have done that made you financially successful in
Hmm.
these times,
Hmm.
that made you, uh, what are the three things that you did that helped you through, these times, to come on top financially and keep profit there and keep people's paychecks going
Hmm.
in lockdowns, the hardest time, that you recommend everybody to do, prepare themselves from whenever we're going to have another challenging time?
Yeah. So, as you know, I mean, I've always been very fiscally sound, right? You know that. I always had my own kind of version of the profit first from basically when I first started. I mean, one of my backgrounds was business management with finance as a background. And I, am a daughter of two people that were great savers and had always drilled into my head that you always have to have 3 months worth of savings no matter what, right? So you don't pay yourself first, you don't go on that trip, you don't go buy that car. You need to have this much savings in an account hidden away someplace, God forbid if something happened, right? So profit first for me, or my 5 accounts was one of those things. So I was very lucky. I always stayed on budget. So I had this money to the side that got me through all those bills until the PPP loans came through. So that was number one. I always hide my money, right? So I had the money in all those accounts. And I'm sure people have heard you talk about profit first on this, so I don't need to.
I don't really talk a lot about the profit first in this program. It's
Oh,
so
okay.
funny
Yeah.
because I always ask questions,
Right.
everybody else. But for everybody who's wondering about the profit first was written by Mike Michalowicz. It's a phenomenal book that is simply, giving you a cash system, a cash saving system that will actually save your business. And it's very simple. So for anybody who, by the way, my book is coming up, and it's Profit First for Salons, and that is going to be launching shortly. And luckily, we were licensed with Mike Michalowicz to write the derivative for Profit First as a Profit First for Salons. So we're really excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
But Profit First allows you to know where your money is.
Yeah.
To know what you need to disperse for what, and take the guessing out of the game, basically.
Right. And that was important to me too. I mean, during this time, I knew a lot of people put people's health insurance on pause or the disability on pause, or, took that time to push things out. And I was really lucky to be able to, and I was happy to, because I was afraid for my team, because especially at the beginning, we had no idea where this was going, what was happening. I had enough money in that account to keep all that stuff going so that they didn't have to worry about that for their families at all. So that was huge to me. And so I guess that's one of the things is, don't use.
I'm having challenge.
Oh yeah, you're a little
Hello.
blurry. Hello.
I don't know.
I think you're back. Let me see. I don't know if I'm still live. You're a little frozen.
Hey there.
You're back. Yeah, you were a little frozen there for a second.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's happening again.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, you're okay. There you are.
Twice I got frozen. Well, that stuff happens. So I missed your last, I would say, 1 minute.
No, I was just saying that I talked about the health insurance, just about how I wanted to make sure that the families and everybody had the health insurance going until, and I paid, try to make sure that we kept going as normal, right? Another thing is when I first started, I did never, ever, ever treated the business account as a personal piggy bank. Never. Yeah. It is not your personal piggy bank. It is completely separate. You need a salary. You need your savings plans and your 401ks or whatever you decide to do for retirement. But your salon is not you. It is a business, right?
It's a business.
It's a business. So if the business isn't profitable, then you can't either pay yourself, or you have to figure out what you're doing wrong so that you can, pay yourself. So never use your salon or business as a personal piggy bank. Never use your personal credit card for your salon purchases. Keep everything nice and clean.
Don't rob Peter to pay Paul. Make sure right, that you have 3, or I would say 4 people that you need to pay. First, you need to pay the company. Second, you need to pay yourself. Definitely have to share some with Uncle Sam, right?
Yeah.
And then of course, then there is the rest. And then there is the rest.
Correct. Yep. So yeah, I would say I mean, those are the most important things at the beginning when you're starting a business, is just making sure that, you know, you treat it like a business from the beginning. And
Yeah.
then another tip would be, and you know, this is my number one thing: manage systems, not people. Right? I mean, you can have, there's some things that are carved in, hard boundaries, hard values of the overall culture. There's some things that are a little bit gray. It might drive some people crazy, but you can be a little gray on them. And then there's just some things, no matter what the ask is or what the doing is, that are just completely unacceptable to the culture.
Yeah.
So when you're making those decisions and people are coming at you, of course, there's emotion, and we all have emotions. I have emotions too. I mean, that's what makes us human beings, right? But a company, you know, I mean, the people in front of you expect you to run like a professional business, regardless if you have 3 people or 3,000. And if you're trying to manage everybody's emotions and everybody's wants and everybody's needs, you can put yourselves in their shoes and make decisions based on that, you know, black and white. I think I just lost you again.
Yeah, keep talking. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You just blacked
Oh,
out.
yeah.
But
You
I was
know,
just,
when I go black,
yeah.
I'm still here, and
Okay.
even when everybody can actually hear you, it just go for a second. But I think it's the camera. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So keep going. I'm
No, and
gonna
so I was
change it
just
tomorrow.
saying that when you manage systems and your systems are clear and they're in a handbook or a manual, and you know, they're a living, breathing document that you know, try to have your empowerment meetings by, and you kind of live by those values, then it's not emotional and people can't take it personal, and it's just, you know, that this is how you operate and this is what your expectation is and this is your expectation of them, and but you'd like to work with those people, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And I'd love to even go deep into the system. And you know, it's so true. And we heard it so many times that you have to manage systems and not people.
Right.
And not so much from the perspective, and I want to come to it. It's not so much from the perspective. Listen, if you're not a good leader, if you manage people, you got to
Right.
choose: do you manage system or you manage people or whatnot. But the thing is, what I wanna when I wanna bring it into it, do you really want to manage people? I mean, when you wake up in the morning, do you say, "Oh, today I'm going to go manage people because
No, you
I
just want
feel like
people
it"?
happy.
Yeah,
You want
you
them
want
to
to
be
be
happy.
happy.
You want them
Yeah.
happy. You want to be happy when there's
Yes,
clarity, and again, you vibe with your tribe. So the people that typically is a good hire are people that are happy and doing things that they like and have a life outside the salon and have some fulfillment and enjoy their work and their craft and their clients, and
love
then,
it.
you know, and the energy is magnetizing. You know, I always say to a lot of my newbies, especially my newbies now, I say it's great to be busy and I'm so happy for you to be busy. But if you're attracting the wrong people, right? If you're not being authentically you, you all of a sudden are going to wake up in 3 years with a full book of people that you don't enjoy seeing.
Right.
And then
And it's too
eventually
late.
they're not
And
going
then you
to,
become who you don't want to have.
yes, yes.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
always
And
say, pick, like, especially at the beginning right now in our empowerment meetings, like right now, it's like a 15-minute once a week check in. Let's look at your pre-planning. Let's talk. And I say, who's your favorite person this week? Oh, you know, the girls always laugh at me. I always call everybody Sally, right? Oh, Sally, what? Okay. What did you like about her? Oh my God, she's so positive. She's always so funny. She always tells me what's wrong, and is so excited about product, blah, blah, blah. I go, okay, well, Sally's the person. If you really enjoy Sally and she loves your work and she comes back every 3 to 4 weeks, you need to give Sally your business cards because you want more Sallys. You don't want to just cast your net and take in every fish, right? You want the
absolutely.
people that there's this mutual respect and that you can work with and that they love what you do, and you feel good about it, right? Everybody wants to go home at night, put their head on their pillow and feel good about what they did for their day, because otherwise, why are you doing what you're doing, right?
Exactly.
Right.
You know, and the thing is, it's like, you know, just to piggyback on what you said, it's like we want to have boundaries. We
Mhm.
need boundary, you know.
Everybody needs boundaries. Yeah.
Everybody, you know, Miranda is going on the road. You know, she fell in love with the fact that we are on the road, and we've been on the
I
road
didn't
for
know
all
that. That's
year.
awesome. Go
Oh yeah.
Miranda. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And so she's been planning for a long time. She goes like, Renita, if you guys can do it, I can do it too. So I'm gonna go buy myself a trailer. I'm gonna get myself a van, and somehow I'm going to make it that I can work and out of the road and see the country. And she's a rock climber, so rope climber. So she wants,
Yeah.
she wants to be. She doesn't want to be in the winter in the East Coast. She's in Massachusetts. So we said, well, you know what it's forcing us? It's forcing us to put some more boundaries on how we work. Up until now, we both work remotely, so we both have, whenever we're present, we're present. But now, because we want to have freedom, because we want to scale and we want to grow, and we don't want to have free scale and grow our time. We want to have the same amount of time doing the things that we love doing, but obviously improve our freedom and our financial profit. Let's put boundaries in place. Let's put system in place more that allow us to do that, right? So that's kind of like in any business, you have to look at this. What boundaries do I need to put in? What things that are going to make a client journey flow like magic? What systems and boundaries and that I can put in so my future or my current staff member can progress and get their freedom and their financial freedom. What can I do in order to improve on those two things? Because those are the biggest consumers that we have. And it is a consumer-centric world right now. We have to focus on not only the experience, but in the whole efficiency of it, the personalization about it, and like you said, the very beginning, flexibility.
Flexibility is huge. And, things that might not have in our industry would be like, what do you mean you're not working Saturdays, right? Like that would have been like, what? You don't work Saturday? Well, guess what?
We don't.
Some people don't, but people that now, again, we're visual people, you got to fill that time. So if we pull that out and that Saturday's gone, where you're going to put, people's lives have changed, when you can be flexible, you really should. I remember when I first started and my bookkeeper goes, you provide health insurance for people working 32 hours a week. I go, yeah, 32 hours a week is full time. You mean, so that's with lunches. No. Yeah. No. Well, most people in your industry that I do bookkeeping for, most of their staff works, 40 to 50 hours a week. And I said, well, that's okay. I mean, they can do whatever they want, but I also want people to have a life, and I want longevity, and I want, a happy team. And 32 hours a week. And that was a lot. That was really kind of unheard of back then. 19 years ago. I mean, that just wasn't
nobody. 40 hours was a full time, and people work overtime.
Oh yeah.
But with the energy that you spend every day on 1 hour, with the we all in 1 hour, we're so multitasking, even if we don't want to, even though we know the multitasking is not the best efficient way to do it. We're on the phone, we're texting, we're emailing, we're answering our children. Our brain power keeps going and keeps going, and you cannot always be on the go and keep going and keep going. It's not normal to do it for 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week, and so at one point, like you said, 32 hours, you can make very great income at 32 hours. I mean,
and you have to figure out how to work smarter, not harder. Like we always say, in Salon Cadence, or and it's not anything new and revolutionary, but you do have to figure out how much per hour do you have to make so that you can work those hours and see as many clients as you can in the most efficient way possible, so that you're not physically, mentally, emotionally burning out, right? And I'm not saying every week's perfect. It's not. People throw you a curveball. We get attached to people. Something happens to your client or their family member. We're living, breathing. We're not robots. No. But to be as efficient as we can be.
Now, on top of it all, if you look at the end game, and when I say end game, I'm not talking about exit strategy, okay? It's good to have one, but I'm looking, okay, my camera is going back and forth because I think it's getting overheated with my red lipstick, so I'm going to go and do that.
I love it.
But, what I wanted to do is, like, I want people to think about, well, okay, what is the end game? What do you really, what are you looking what do you want to provide to your staff?
Well, I mean, from day one,
and reverse engineer it, and reverse engineer it.
I mean,
exactly.
Listen, I was raised by a father who had an amazing career. Nothing fancy, but he was a hardworking guy. Worked for Verizon for 30 plus years. My mother was a VNA, both very hardworking. Middle class America. The big thing has always been save for retirement. Have that 3 month savings in the, you just get conditioned. What you grow up that way. And some people have, financial scarcity. Other people didn't grow up that way. So it's a way to learn, right? For me, it was just kind of how I operated for my own security, right? When you talk about, energy again, chakras, my root chakra to feel secure has always been to make sure that I'm saving on a weekly basis and that I have my end game. And that's what I like to provide to my team, and even bring education in. So, the health insurance, vacation time, the 401k, learning about Roth IRA, talking to somebody about how to do investments, bringing people in about how can you be a first time home buyer? How can you create that goal? What little things can you do? And, when we do our empowerment, it's not just what your financial goals are, your KPIs, but it's what is your goal this year? And I truly believe, and even in the business, there can't be more than three major goals, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're focusing on more than three, nothing's going to get done, right? Just like you said, the monkey mind, right?
Yeah.
But if you just, if you don't put too much pressure on yourself, even every day, I mean, all of us have our notebooks with our list. I circle 3 things. If I do these 3 things, today was a great day.
Yeah.
Right.
3 things. And 3 things is sufficient. If you can achieve 3 days in a day, you should feel very accomplished.
Absolutely.
So 3 days, 3 goals a day, 3 goals a year, and just work every day. Make your goals get closer to your 3 goals a year, and I think you'll be fine.
And there's no shame in looking at your 3 goals, and all of a sudden it's halfway through the year going, where the heck was I when I wrote that? Or wait, is that on that list? I didn't even realize that was on my list, right? And then saying, well, I didn't even know it, but I was working on this other thing that took up all this time. And I think I'm just going to kind of put that on next year's list. And this is going to be my new this year's, because something happened and it just, but yeah, I think sometimes people feel like they see all these videos or hear these people accomplishing all these things. But at the end of the day, you can have little sprints, but you want to, feel good at the end of it all.
Absolutely. So for anybody who's just tuning in and just walked into this conversation, we've been at it for almost an hour, so we're almost going to wrap up this conversation. But for anybody who's interested, to get a copy of The Profit First on when it's coming out, all you got to do is use this 800 numbers right there, 833-654-2300, and text profits, and we will take your name and we will let you know when the books is going to launch. Now, we are a Salon Cadence Accelerator program. Everything that Shelley was talking about today is what we do at Salon Cadence members. We work on our financials goals, we work on our personal goals, and we work on professional goals, and reverse engineer it to the business model that we have. So our staff can have the lifestyle that they want, and we can be happy making dreams come true for all of us. And the one thing is that we use Textile. This is a great, by the way, Shelley, I have so many great things to tell you about Textile, but Textile is a great company. It's something that you guys all probably need to look at and bring the technology into your salon or into your company. It's wonderful to use them, and we use them on a regular basis for everything communication with our Salon Cadence members, with you guys out there. So if you're really looking for, let us know when you need. Just type in profits into that 800 number. Shelley, I want to go back and say, with all the challenges we went through, everything that we got through, back and forth, changes, trying this, trying that, you had a devastating ski accident this year. You're not behind a chair. You're not sitting in the room. You have a team that is 100% sufficient. You don't need to be at the salon. You can lead from far, but
I
yet
can, but I miss
you're
it.
always there. You're always there. And then boom, boom, you had a terrible accident. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, that was a big one. When we finally felt like there was some momentum going, and we got the capacity limits, lifted, which during those capacity limits, I removed myself. I mean, I wasn't in the room for more than maybe 15, 16 hours a week, a day and a half, just to see my oldie but goodies and to keep myself in there, because I didn't get into this business just to run a business. I mean, I love being with people and sharing their stories and their lives. And it was the last Sunday in January, and I'm a skier. We're a ski family, and it wasn't anything really all that crazy. I mean, I was just skiing. I wasn't even going that fast, and my back left ski hit something, and when I fell, I just shattered my pelvis. So I had a bilateral pelvic break. Hit the tailbone, that shattered, and then I pulled my ACL and PCL and tore my PCL. So I got traumatized to the hospital, where I spent a week in another hospital because they couldn't handle the injury. And then I lived at the Spalding Rehab Hospital in Charlestown for about a month. And because it was COVID, nobody could visit me. I couldn't see any of my friends, my family, my team members, nothing. And I had to relearn how to walk again. I was in a wheelchair and then went to the walker, and now finally on a cane. But it's been a long road. Yeah, it's been a long road.
Wow.
And as
What would,
I mean, one of the reasons I shattered like that was because I had gone through chemo 7 years ago. And for anybody watching this, if you male or female and you're under 50 and you've gone through chemotherapy, it's not protocol. It doesn't come up in your health to get a bone density test. But I have been talking to my oncologist. I think anybody a year after having chemotherapy should have a bone density test, because I would have not shattered like that if my bones weren't basically stripped of its calcium. I mean, I basically had bird bones. And how would I have known? I wouldn't have known that.
yeah.
I'm a healthy person. So during this, I had to get like the calcium infusions, magnesium infusions, everything to try to get my bones to even just start healing, because they were just basically hollow. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just something that you're not prepared to.
No,
The
no.
pain, the not being able to be visited, be with people. What a tough things, to go through, and still going through. Still, there's
Hmm.
rehabilitation. It's very difficult to go through
Yeah.
something like this, especially in
Yeah. It's like
time.
4 or 5 days a week. I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost never a day, Monday through Friday, that I'm either not at PT in a pool, land therapy, OT, acupuncture, some sort of something. And through that all, like, and I'm not saying, I mean, I is extremely blessed and grateful for the team that I have,
Yes.
that they know what they're doing. They're kind people. They're amazing at what they do. They're responsible. Listen, everybody always laughs. Like we always say, oh, the cat's away, the mice will play. Listen, everybody wants to play. They can play, but they also got it done. And
Yeah.
I have gotten nothing but amazing emails from,
Yeah.
you know, um, clients just saying how amazing they are. And I wouldn't have thought of anything different. They are truly amazing people and good at what they do. And really, I couldn't have gone through this without them.
And have a lot of love around you.
Oh,
So
so
a
much
lot
love.
of love.
Both ways. Both ways.
Yeah.
I mean, some people
Yeah.
have been with me 18 years, 15 years, 9
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's truly a
Now, I spoke to my friend Karen the other day. You have these people who are been with you for 10, 15, 9 years, 5 years, 18 years, and then
and some
some
of
of
the ones
them.
that only been with 6 months was still amazing, just truly.
Exactly,
Yeah.
so there's a lot to be said about this, and like you said in the beginning, some of them would decide to change careers. They want to go someplace, they want to do some different things,
Hmm.
and it's very, as difficult as it is, we have to let go. We have to open our arms to the universe and accept what the universe is telling us. What
Yes.
it was the biggest message this year from shattering your your hips, your
I
hand.
think for at the beginning, I think I was struggling with, which a lot of people struggle with, why? Why? Why did this happen? Right? And it took a lot of faith to realize, I didn't do anything for it to happen, or, I wasn't being punished, because you do feel that way after a while,
You do. Yeah.
especially because, as you know, I mean, I had the cancer, I got through that, I had that, I got through that. And then all of a sudden this happened. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
The joke was like, does someone have a voodoo doll in a closet with a bunch of pins in it on me? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened? So trust, a lot of trust, a lot of faith, a lot of patience, a lot of gratitude, and to realize that you're not in control, right? Like, we talked about control right at the beginning,
Or you don't have to be.
or you don't have to be, right?
Mhm.
Exactly. You don't, you set up these systems and you set up
And
these
let them
things
work.
and let them work
Let
and
them
and
work.
trust
They're
them
working.
and manage them. Just because I didn't have visitors doesn't mean I wasn't on Zooms or FaceTime and calling
Right.
and talking. And,
Right. Of
I
course.
launched the Shopify site and, we changed, I had some projects. Otherwise, I probably would have gone crazy. But yeah, you don't have to be microman. I mean, I've never been a micromanager. That's not my style anyways, but you don't have to be in control of absolutely everything. You sometimes just have to trust the flow. And then, you start to feel better. And like we talked about testing, the universe always tests you, right? You think you've learned that lesson and then boom, it pops back up. And I always say, like I say to you, I go, it's just the universe testing you. Did you really learn that lesson? Did you really? Right?
Come back, come back. If it's not enough, it will give you another testing, and it's not enough until you learn a really good lesson and you apply it into your
And then
life.
you let it go. And then
And
you
then
just,
you let it
all of a
go.
sudden it's gone. And you're like, what? I never used to do that. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is. I want to just say goodbye to everybody here and part on a really great note that we are all resilient. We are all resilient, and if we put our mind to it and we focus on the most important thing, the three most important things, then we all gonna come through it, and we'll come through it better, stronger.
Hmm.
And the truth is that if we um, practice resiliency, if we practice love, and if we practice knowledge, acquire knowledge and
Hmm.
share, and
And
I think
non-judgment and understanding. We're not all the same. We're not all meant to be the same, right? We're not all meant to be the
absolutely,
same. Just, yeah.
and have fun. And have fun
And
and
a lot
have
of fun.
fun
Yeah.
and yes. So thank you, Shelley. This has been so amazing.
Well, thanks for having me,
Amazing.
Ronnie. Thanks.
Amazing. Yeah, this has been so good. You're always such a great inspiration.
Mhm.
For anybody out there, if you still have not gotten your Americans Beauty Show ticket, Shelley and I are both going to be there,
Yeah. I can't wait. And data driven. Yeah.
and
Data
data
driven.
driven, and
Yeah. It's
data
gonna be a great
driven is
time.
great times, great classes. I'm going to be teaching the Profit first. Shelley's going to be there with us. I'm going to be teaching lifestyle recruitment, how you
Mhm.
should be recruiting right now. And what are the three things that you can do to have 4 weeks vacation in a year without worrying about your company? So we'll be there, and we'll see you next Monday. And we have two great artists here next Monday to share with us. They're both going to be in Americans Beauty Show as well, and so we have lots of great stuff coming up this next few months. So come in and see us. Thank you, Textile. Thank you, Americans Beauty Show. Thank you, Salon Cadence, and we'll see you on Monday. Hold on, Shelley. Don't get off. I'm just going to get off.
You got it.